With rents rising across Manhattan, Mayor de Blasio and the lawmakers in City Hall are one step closer to putting in more affordable housing. Of course, they've got to change the zoning laws to make it happen. Not all the residents in Inwood and Washington Heights are so happy about it. John Shumo has the story. John, what do you got?
Yeah, Bill, it certainly does sound good on paper. Some 4,000 apartments at below market rates, hundreds of millions of dollars to invest in schools, parks, and the waterfront in Washington Heights and Inwood. But not everyone who lives in the neighborhood is on board. We're talking specifically about a plan to rezone two neighborhoods in northern Manhattan with large Hispanic populations. Some existing apartments would be preserved as affordable, while other new apartments would be built as a part of this plan. Residents are working class in this neighborhood, mid to low income New Yorkers who've seen market rate rents rise as the neighborhood's been gentrified in recent years. Many residents fear this rezoning, these changes will lead to even more gentrification and they'll eventually be priced out of their own neighborhoods. About a dozen of these neighborhood residents protested overnight inside the office of the local city councilman, Adonis Rodriguez. He's been undecided for 2 years about whether to support this project because it also allows developers to build some market rate apartments. On Thursday, he said yes.
We are telling our community that this plan aims to maintain Northern Manhattan as a community where working class will live in dignity.
Mayor de Blasio is trying to rezone several neighborhoods in the 5 boroughs like this. He defended his affordable housing plan on his Friday morning radio show.
The market forces are already creating the pressure on rents and on folks who live in the community. When the government steps in and creates some rules and some boundaries and some guarantees of affordability, it actually rebalances the equation in favor of the people.
Whether those residents like it or not, now that this plan has the approval of the city councilman, it is likely to have the approval of the entire city council, and it's up for a vote next week. That's the story, Bill. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Okay, let's bring back our A-plus panel for tonight's show. Pop culture expert Lisa Durden back with us. Always good to see you, Lisa.
Of course.
Bob Bianchi, former county prosecutor and now defense attorney. Good to see you, Bob.
Bill.
Lisa, I'm going to start with you. As I said to John, you can always tell one side of the aisle. One wants to work on prosperity. The other saying, well, let's just lower the burden. Is this fair to the residents who are there now? This whole idea, you've got so many opportunities in New York, in other boroughs where people could push out. It's what really led to Harlem having this whole revitalization where property value dropped, people started moving in and buying it up. Why not let the natural market do that to find housing for these folks?
Well, that's the point. They're not letting the natural market do it. They're pushing it. I think it's very shady, and I think what's going to happen is it's not just pushing out poor people, it's also pushing out the culture. When you have a bodega, you can buy a nice sandwich and, buy a beer and hang out. So this whole culture is changing.
Is that, to Lisa's point, is that part of the problem? It's like, well, we're going to create opportunity for some poor people at the expense of the ones that are living there now. How does that help anybody?
Yeah, it doesn't. And I want to Lisa's point, I've been in the middle of dealing with something recently where I have to agree. There was all these plans, all this development. There were a couple of people in the back room that were making decisions. They thought they were going to slide it by the community. And thank God we got involved in it, because when we found out what it was, we were like, this is terrible for the community. Why do we have to do all this regentrification, moving people out, displacing people? Let's create economic prosperity, as you're saying, Bill, and let people spread out. But look, $200 million. It's a lot of dollars.
Follow the money. Somebody's making money. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, John.
It's not us. It's terrible.